Hello and welcome to another video from Sustenance and Cover, the only YouTube channel you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today we're out here on the porch again in my bed because I did a 4-part series about how to stay warm at night. And a lot of people asking me, well, why do you sleep on the porch? Because in the videos I always said I'm an expert because I sleep outside. Well, first thing is, sleeping outside around here ain't much different than sleeping inside because I am on a screen porch, got a roof over my head, got a nice bed with plenty of covers, and it was 28 degrees last night, or 29, hard freeze, and I was as comfortable as I could be. I got so many covers. But anyway, prior to me sleeping here, I slept right in there. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, right here where you're looking, that's south. And most of our wind comes off of the beach from the south. Or, in the winter, comes from the north, which is through here. I don't know if you can see. Let's see here. That is a straight shot. There's a door at the end of that. My wife's in here watching the Waltons. But anyhow, this is my old bed. My wife still sleeps there with Sock Monkey and George, Curious George. But this is the north end. Basically, that's it. It's just a straight shot through my house, and we never ever shut the doors. Today it's in the 40s, and that is rare around here. We have some cold nights. We don't have a whole lot of cold days. But in any case, we stayed in here all the time with all the and I mean all the doors and windows in the house open, just so we could hear if something went wrong with our chickens or anything. We just like seeing stuff, you know. We sit out here on the porch most of the time looking at foxes and coyotes and hawks, things like that. But anyways, see, it's not that big of a deal for me to move out here. I mean, last night it was about 28 degrees inside the house. I mean, my wife, she doesn't want me sleeping out here separate from her, so she opens the door anyway. So where she's sleeping is always the same temperature as it is here. Last night she shut the door because it was really cold. But even with that door shut, it was in the 40s this morning when I went in the house. But anyhow, I had to make them. I've always, not only is it not that big of a deal for me to move out here, but I've always thought that I needed to acclimate myself to the weather. Because I've always been somewhat of a survivalist, and I've always wondered how I would handle being in the weather. Now, being 48 years old, and this is the first time I've done this, well, for 2 years now. I guess when I was about 45, I started or something like that. But even when I was a child, I didn't trust the government. I remember when I was little and my parents telling me that some politician was a liar, and I said, well, why don't people vote for one that don't lie? And my parents told me, said, well, all politicians lie. So even back then I felt really unsecure with the national system we lived under, being able to always provide for all my needs and to treat me fairly and allow me to just live my life and have a house and you know, job and food and all that. But in any case, I never did come out here, even though I knew that as a survivalist I wanted to see what it was like out here. What got me kind of out of the house was the first thing, a hurricane came and we had water up to about here, and the structure of the house is concrete. So it was stable, and we were staying in there, but we didn't have any walls on the inside of the house, and no carpet, and no flooring at all, no furniture, no appliances. And church people kept coming by and saying that they wanted to help me rebuild my house, and I said, no, I built it, I'll rebuild it myself. But after about 3 years of that, I finally gave in because I knew I wasn't going to get it done. My arthritis has gotten a lot worse in the last couple of years, and I just wasn't making any progress out here. So when the church got to where I could live in the center of the house, they made me a bedroom, and they made me fixed my kitchen and fixed my bathroom, I just felt a little uneasy about moving back in there because it was weird to live in something somebody else made, kind of. That was one reason. Okay, the second reason is I was in the VA system, and when I first got out of the military, I mean, they just really, if you've ever been in the military, if you're a lower rank and you go to VA, then you know it's garbage. It's just smoke and mirrors. It makes the American people think veterans are being taken care of by putting a bunch of worthless, medical caregivers in a building and cycling veterans through there. But one day I went to the VA, and they had a big tent set up and had a sign out front that said homeless stand down. You can look that up on Google, homeless stand down. And it was just a thing set up at the VA for homeless people. And so I went over there and talked to them, and every one of these homeless people says they're a veteran. And I thought, well, yeah, right. People that's homeless, that kind of gives them some street credit to tell people they're a veteran, where they fought in the war or whatever. But I come to find out that most homeless people are veterans. Even though a very small percentage of the U.S. population is homeless, and a very small percentage of the U.S. population is veterans, it seems that both are the same. Most homeless people are veterans, and that just didn't make any sense to me. But I come to realize that Veterans Administration has got 2 lawyers for every doctor. Now I'm just saying that. I don't know what the ratio is, but there's a lot of lawyers. The VA has on the payroll thousands of legal representatives that their whole job is to keep you from getting your veterans benefits. If you got an arm missing and you tell them, look, my arm's missing because I got it blown off. Well, they say, well, you know what, a lot of people's got an arm missing. You can go get a job. That's not a big deal. Because we found a job for you where all you have to do is type with your left hand. And you say, well, look, I don't know how to type, and so them lawyers fill out some other kind of paper saying, oh, well, you know what, we lost your records, and they just drag this out for years and years, and they do it for everybody. And I guess people that get their heads screwed up, they just do that to them, It don't take long. If somebody just gets mental, after a couple of years of filling out papers, they're just going to give up and stay on the streets. So next time that they have a Veterans Day or a Memorial Day or whatever, instead of going to one of them stupid parades, just go find a place where all the homeless people hang out and go thank them. Thank them for fighting for your freedom, or if you believe in all that. And you'll probably be, if you're patting a homeless person on the back, you probably, patting a veteran on the back. It's just the way it is. But anyways, I got to thinking, my God, I come out of there. I had 3 ruptured discs when I come out of the Navy, and I spent, 20 years filling out papers and sending it to lawyers, and they'd send it back with some kind of silly stuff. And all that time I never really made a living, but I got a house and I got transportation. Let them keep it. They can keep all that. But I could have easily ended up on the street just like them fellas. And I really, to me, that affected me. I think that after going to the homeless thing, I come home and I slept on the porch and I said, I ain't never going in the house again the rest of my life for anything. I got over that after I, stopped shaking and all. But I slept out here a few days, and it was nice weather, and I loved it. And I just decided I wasn't going back in the house. And then when the cold weather come, I felt how to, figured out how to deal with it, and I enjoy this. So basically, this is just part of the prepping, part of the living closer to the earth, figuring out what the seasons are like. And the little push that got me going was having my house wiped out and rebuilt by a church, and finding out that most homeless people are veterans, and I could have been a homeless person because I'm a veteran. That was it.